Most parents with a walking baby think they have a problem. A baby who refuses the rocking chair, who screams through the swing, who can tell the difference between walking and standing still before they can tell the difference between night and day. A baby who forces their exhausted parent to pace corridors at 2 a.m. because apparently that is the only thing in the world that works. And the question every one of those parents asks, quietly, in the dark between steps, is, what am I doing wrong? Nothing. But that is not the interesting part. The interesting part is what your baby is doing right. Because a baby who only calms when you walk is not a baby with a flaw. They are a baby with something that most parents never get to see clearly because it hides inside the hardest parts of early parenthood. What looks like difficulty is something else entirely, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Here are the signs, and what they actually mean. Most parents assume a baby who screams through rocking just needs a different technique, a different rhythm, a different angle, something they have not found yet. But the baby who only calms when you walk is not waiting for you to find the right technique. They have already told you what the right technique is. They told you the first time. They have told you every time since, and they will keep telling you, with complete consistency, until you understand what they are saying. Before this baby was born, every time you walked, they felt it. For 9 months, your walking was the primary sensory experience of their existence, not occasionally, constantly. Every step you took, every time your body moved forward through space, the baby inside you felt the rhythm of it, the direction of it, the specific quality of a body going somewhere. That motion was not just comfort. That motion was the first thing they ever knew. It was home before they had words for home. It was safe before they understood what safe meant. When you rock them, you are not doing something wrong. You are doing something approximate. And the baby's nervous system, which spent 9 months learning the original, knows immediately that what it is receiving is not the original. Rocking moves, but rocking does not go anywhere. It oscillates without direction. It is rhythm without destination. And to a baby calibrated on forward movement, the difference between rocking and walking is not subtle. It is the difference between almost and exactly. This baby is not hard to please. This baby is precise about what pleases them. Those are completely different things. Precision is not a flaw. Precision is the first word we use to describe something built well. Every parent of a walking baby has had this moment. 20 minutes in, the baby is settled, eyes closed, body heavy in your arms. You have not made the decision to stop yet. You have not slowed. You have not shifted your weight. The idea of stopping has barely formed in your mind, and the baby stirs. Parents describe this as eerie. Some call it a sixth sense. Some half-seriously begin to believe their baby can read their thoughts. The baby cannot read your thoughts. The baby can read your body, and they can read it faster than you can. The moment an intention reaches your muscles, something changes. The stride alters by fractions. The rhythm shifts by margins, so small no conscious mind registers them. The micro-movements that happen with every step, the pressure, the angle, the weight distribution, begin to change. These changes are invisible to you. You are not aware you are making them. Your baby has been tracking the precise quality of your movement for the entire walk. They notice the change before you do. Not because they are psychic, because their sensitivity to the quality of your movement is higher than yours. In this one specific capacity, the baby you have been calling difficult is more perceptive than you are. Their instrument is finer. Their reading is more accurate. They are detecting information from your body that your own conscious mind has not yet processed. The baby who always knows you are about to stop is not a baby with a supernatural gift. They are a baby with a sensory system so precisely calibrated it catches what most systems miss entirely. That is not a difficult baby. That is a remarkable one. Those are not the same thing. Every parent of a walking baby eventually tries to trick their baby. You slow down gradually. You transition to swaying. You sit down so slowly it barely counts as sitting. You try a rocking chair because at least it is still moving. You try a swing, a bouncer, a car seat. You try a recording of your own footsteps played through a speaker. And the baby knows, every time. Not because they are stubborn, not because they are making a point, because what they are looking for has specific qualities that none of the substitutes carry. And a nervous system trained to recognize those specific qualities cannot be fooled by something that resembles them. Think about what this actually demonstrates. Most humans can be fooled by approximations. A good enough copy passes for the original. We accept near matches constantly because our system does not discriminate finely enough to catch the difference. This baby's system discriminates. It catches the difference between the original and the copy every single time without fail. What parents call impossible to satisfy is actually something much more specific. This baby has a sensory system precise enough to identify what it is looking for, accurate enough to know when it has found it, and consistent enough to never accept a substitute. Stop here. Look at what we have described. A baby who recognizes the specific signal they are looking for and will not accept a copy, who detects changes in the quality of movement that the adult producing the movement cannot consciously register, who cannot be tricked by approximations of the thing they need because their discrimination is too precise. Every parenting forum has a name for this baby: high needs. But high needs has always been the wrong frame. The right frame is high resolution. High needs suggests something is in deficit, something is missing, something needs more than a normal amount. High resolution suggests something different entirely, a system that receives more, processes more, distinguishes more. A system running at a finer level of detail than the standard issue. This baby does not have high needs. This baby has high resolution, and high resolution is not a deficit. High resolution is what every nervous system is eventually trying to become. This one arrived there early, before the world was ready for it. Most parents believe their job while walking is to get the baby to sleep. This misses what is actually happening. When you walk with this baby, their brain is working, not in the way that keeps them awake, in the way that prepares them to rest. The rhythm of your walking, the specific forward motion, the predictable sensory input, creates conditions that this baby's brain requires to do something it cannot do in stillness. It is sorting, consolidating, taking the sensory experiences of the day and beginning to organize them into something that can be stored, built upon, returned to. This work happens in movement for this baby in a way it does not happen in the rocking chair or the swing or the bouncer. Walking does not put them to sleep by switching their brain off. Walking puts them to sleep by giving their brain exactly the right conditions to finish what it was doing. This is why they sometimes look almost awake in the final minutes before sleep. Their eyes are partially open. Their gaze is unfocused but present. Something is still being processed. They are not fighting sleep. They are finishing the work that allows sleep to come. And when you stop before the work is finished, the cry is not protest, it is interruption. The brain was mid-process. The conditions it needed disappeared. The only available response is to signal that the conditions need to return. You are not the vehicle getting this baby to sleep. You are the environment in which this baby's brain does some of its earliest and most significant work. That is not a burden. That is a role no one else in this baby's life can perform. The hallway is not where you go when nothing else works. The hallway is where something specific and important is happening. You are not failing when you end up there. You are the only person whose body creates the conditions for it. Parents of walking babies almost always notice the same thing. It is not just the motion. During the day, in contexts that have nothing to do with sleep, this baby picks up things that other babies do not seem to register. A shift in the emotional atmosphere of a room before anything has been said. The tension in a voice that is trying to sound calm. A change in the quality of light. A sound from another room. Things that should be below the threshold of an infant's awareness arrive at this baby fully formed, requiring a response. Parents call this sensitivity. Sometimes they call it a difficult temperament. Sometimes they take it to a doctor, who finds nothing wrong because nothing is wrong. What is happening is not wrong. What is happening is that this baby is receiving more of the world than most babies receive. Their system is not filtering information the way a lower sensitivity system would. More is getting through, and more getting through means more requiring processing, more requiring response, more. The walking requirement and the daytime sensitivity are not two separate things to manage. They are one thing to understand. The same system that cannot be fooled by approximate motion is the same system that notices what no one else in the room has noticed yet. The same precision that catches your slowing gait is the same precision that reads the emotion in a room from the way the air feels. This baby is not overwhelmed by the world because they are fragile. They are overwhelmed by the world because they are taking in more of it. There is a significant difference between fragile and capacious. Fragile breaks under pressure. Capacious holds more than most. These babies, when they grow, are often the ones who seem to understand things before they should be able to understand them, who read people accurately, who feel things at a depth that startles the adults around them, who seem to have arrived with more than expected. The sensitivity that exhausts you in the night is the same sensitivity that will one day astonish you in the day. You are not living with a difficult baby. You are living with a baby who will eventually feel everything with a depth most people never reach. The night wakings feel like a separate problem. The walking is one thing, the waking is another. Two problems to solve. Two techniques to find. Two separate failures to diagnose. But they are not two things. They are the same thing appearing in a different context. Every baby cycles between layers of sleep throughout the night. Deep sleep, lighter sleep. A partial surfacing where the brain becomes more aware of the environment before dropping back down. Most babies pass through these lighter stages without waking, because the difference between how they fell asleep and how the environment feels in the lighter stage is not significant enough to register as a change worth waking for. For this baby, it is significant. Because for this baby, almost everything is significant. They fell asleep in motion. They fell asleep with the specific rhythm of walking as the baseline of their sensory environment. They go into deep sleep carrying that baseline. When they surface to the lighter stage, the baseline is gone. The motion that was there is not there. The walking that was the condition for everything is absent. And this baby's system, which detects your slowing gait before you have decided to slow, which identifies a copy of the original signal before you have stopped walking, which reads the emotional atmosphere of a room from the way the air feels. This system notices the absence of walking in the middle of the night with the same accuracy it notices everything else. The night waking is not a failure of the transfer. It is not a bad habit forming. It is not a new problem requiring a new solution. It is the same baby with the same precision, in the dark, noticing what changed and doing the only thing available to signal that something changed. There is something almost extraordinary about a nervous system precise enough to notice the absence of forward motion from inside a sleep cycle. Most adults could not do that. This baby does it every night. There will come a night when you walk, and they settle, and you put them down, and they stay. Not because the technique finally worked, because their nervous system has accumulated enough experience of the world to know that stillness is also safe, and you will stand there in the quiet and feel two things at the same time. Relief, and something else. Something smaller and harder to name. A recognition that this specific season, this particular exhausting sacred thing, is over. Because what you did in those hallways was not just keeping a baby calm. You were the first environment this nervous system ever trusted. Your motion was the first thing it knew. Your walking was the proof, night after night, that the world was safe enough to rest in.